Well.
What's up?
We back, bitches.
It's been a while since we've done.
YouTube live,
Yeah, you got that right.
I
So, if you can't tell by the title, now I was at my parents' recently,
right.
and they have a smart TV. So I was going through the YouTube, and
YouTube.
I saw Tales of the Territory. Now, obviously,
Yeah, I've seen a few.
that's on Vice.
Yeah, I've
But
seen a few videos of those
yeah,
on the YouTubes.
so I watched. Yeah, so I saw most of them. Like I saw, obviously, we talked about a pay-per-view from Polynesian Pro Wrestling.
Right.
I watched Stampede.
Mm.
They have AWA, which I'm familiar with.
Yes.
There was some other stuff. Oh, Bushwhacker League was on one of them.
Oh yeah.
That was a good. I mean, those were good episodes, and I really love watching stories about how those like storylines
Yeah.
in the wrestling, like played by Buddy Rose and Matt Bourne.
Yeah.
You know, there was a story. I think it was Ken Patera going to McDonald's, and somebody threw a brick at the window, and he was gonna get some burgers and bring them back to a account member who was in a hotel room. And then they ended up police knocking on his door, and he ended up getting pepper sprayed.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not the one that threw the brick through the fucking window, you jackasses.
Oh, he was pretty hot about it too.
Oh, no fucking kidding.
Yeah.
Just casually go into a McDonald's order, however many burgers, like a couple burgers or whatever, and go back to the hotel and chill with your roommate, let's say, and have a nice meal, and then you get a knock on the door, you're fucking pepper sprayed. Like, what the fuck did I do?
Yeah. Well, he didn't even get the burgers. It was basically they were doing a commercial, and those were like standby burgers or something.
Oh.
Yeah. There was I want to say Florida Championship Wrestling. I can't remember what it was called back then.
Well, yeah, there was Florida Championship Wrestling. There's also Georgia Championship Wrestling, but that's two totally different things.
Yeah, I didn't see the Georgia one. There might be one in the future. But they had, of course, talking about, Steve Kearns or whatever.
Yeah.
And his dad was in the military.
Right.
And, yeah. Also, they had an episode with WCCW.
Right.
Obviously, we know about that history and the Von Erichs.
Yeah.
And I think it was last week I had mentioned on the Facebook Wheels of Fury page that there's the new Von Erich biopic with Zac Efron, of all people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I said this to Matt. It might have been during the live. But, like, you see a lot of actors end up in, like, the most unlikely of roles. Zac Efron doing whatever role he's going to portray in this Von Erich biopic. Fucking, you got Daniel Radcliffe as Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah.
Years ago, you had Will Smith as Muhammad Ali.
Yep.
Who else? That's all I can think of on the top of my head right now.
I was watching the WCCW episode, and I believe it was Kevin who went to a bar with Billy Robinson
Right.
No, sorry, it wasn't Billy. It was Chris Harris. No,
Chris Adams.
Chris Adams.
Yeah.
He's like, Chris Adams has had to have been one of the most nicest human beings you could talk to.
Yeah.
But if you get a few in him, you better fucking run.
Oh yeah. That's just like, well, okay. It's similar but also different at the same time. Just like Haku.
Yeah,
One of the nicest, sweetest, most genuine people you'd ever meet. You piss him off, fucking run.
yeah.
You don't need to put booze in that, man. Just pass him off, fucking run.
Well, someone's picking on Chris, and shit went crazy, obviously. And he super kicked this guy's eye out of his head.
Uh,
And I was like, fuck.
yeah, exactly.
But I mean, it was very cool because I have heard of the show before, but I've not watched an episode of it
Yeah,
up until then.
yeah. Yeah, then, like, just to think of, like, just all these series and just, and, different promotions and just, you know, talking about what it was like back in the territory days. That's just like there was a series, I want to say a couple years ago, kind of going over um, wrestling in the maritime territories.
Yeah, Grand Prix.
Yeah, and like J.J. Dillon and several others. Yes, J.J. Dillon was a wrestler.
Well, not only that, but I mean, there's not too many Canadian promotions. Like, I mean, you look at Stampede, obviously, you had like Jake Roberts was there,
Right.
Bad News Brown, Bad News Allen, if you will.
Yeah.
You know,
JYD.
Yep, he was there. A lot of guys. So, I mean, you don't necessarily, when you think about the Maritimes, you think about pro wrestling.
Yeah.
But Halifax was hot for that.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see J.J. Dillon as a wrestler
Yeah.
at that point. But you go even further, you have guys that were in AWA that were from Canada.
Oh yeah.
You fucking, like, you had, well, the Fashans.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure about Whipper Billy Watson. If he was in AWA, he might have been so. He was mentioned on a TV show. That's why
Yeah.
I know. And he's got his name in a bar somewhere. But, you had. There's a lot of very cool Canadian wrestlers. The Hearts, obviously.
Yeah.
The Rougeaus and all that stuff. But I can't wait to see how many more episodes of like Terretories there are.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of crazy stories about what it was like, traveling the roads and, like going to a bar or going to maybe a restaurant or, whatever. Because there's been a lot of crazy stories about incidents happening in bars and hotels and maybe not necessarily restaurants, but definitely bars and hotels for sure.
Well, they even had it's the same episode that Bushwhacker Leap was on. And again, I can't remember the promotion, but it was the Sheep Herders territory days.
Oh yeah.
Which I knew a little bit about. I tried to find footage of those matches, so it was nice to see a few clips in that episode.
Yeah.
But I guess the reason I wanted to bring that up was they had on a panel Mike Masters.
Okay.
Yeah. And there was a point where they wanted him to do the full Nelson and like, hey, now don't let go. Like, just put it on, don't let go. Make up some kind of story, like your fingers swell or whatever. And I thought about that. Now, he passed away this year.
Right.
But I thought about that and I'm like, I wonder if that's where Chris Adonis got his gimmick when he came to the WWE.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. But yeah, mentioning the feud with Buddy Rose and Matt Bourne
Right.
is trying to. Yeah, I mean, it showed the difference between kayfabe and like a shoot
Yeah.
because it was Buddy Rose was married to Matt's sister, and I think he cheated on her or something, and Matt went crazy.
Yeah. Of course.
So I mean, it was a pretty like these are interesting shows. It's kind of like, well, they do take bits and pieces from Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah.
Like you had Princess Victoria on one of them shows, and she was kind of talking about the days where she was screwed up by Moolah.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's interesting watching these shows, whether it be, Dark Side of the Ring or, Tales from the Territories. And you get a more in depth idea as, as to what it was like, behind closed doors, on the road, just life outside the ring, basically.
yeah, and I mean, talk about the Polynesian pro wrestling, and you have the story because Harvey Wimpleman was on the panel or the
Right.
show. His name's Bruno. But he was talking about how he used to hang out with Dwayne Johnson
Yeah.
when he was a teenager, and apparently he bought Dwayne a car from this junkie. So he drives the car over to the house, and Rocky Johnson comes out. The dad had just bought my car. Bruno just bought me this car, and Rocky's like, it's a piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of history there, and I mean, they still are in contact with each other. But you have, The Rock's grandmother basically running the promotion,
Right.
which leads into a hot summer's night. Now, looking at that, I was an influence to start our next chapter of Look Back at Your series. So I wanted to find out what year that was, and it is in fact 1985. So there we go, and I'm hoping to find footage.
Yeah.
Because we just did a look back at an all Japan show.
Yeah.
And I actually found footage of that. I sent it to Kyle. So
Yeah.
look out for that.
Yep.
Mm. Other than that, I don't know what else to talk about, really.
We pretty much we covered quite a bit in our Facebook Live.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's talk about it here. Survivor Series was good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Raw after that was pretty good too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think the match with The Miz and Dexter Lumis was silly.
Yeah.
But I think, see, once again, there's that line between, seriousness and being goofy. Not too goofy to the point where you don't want to watch the product.
Yeah.
But this was the right amount of silliness.
Yeah,
The clamp on Dexter's head.
yeah.
But yeah.
Like, you're watching that and you're thinking, like, Miz, what the hell are you doing? You're trying to squeeze his temple so hard, he passes out. Like, yeah, just ridiculous.
But tonight, SmackDown, we have the World Cup, or the SmackDown Cup.
SmackDown Cup finals.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting when it gets a shot at Gunther.
Yeah.
So Dynamite was pretty good. You have the return of Hangman Adam Page, hashtag cowboy shit,
Yeah.
and Ruby Soho.
Yep.
So yeah, business is picking up. And
Hey.
next week we have a double episode: Wheels of Fury, Deadline, and
Final
Battle, which I think is pretty cool that they're still continuing with that. I'm not quite sure where they're gonna lead up to.
Yeah.
I think Ring of Honor leaving when it did. I don't know why they just didn't let it, I don't want to say die, reinvent it, or just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Or, here's a better idea. You have the Pure Championship, just call it the AEW Pure Championship.
I guess.
But, I mean, we'll see what happens with that. I'm pretty sure it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I pretty much covered it. Dominic Dijakovic is back.
Yes. Now they're just calling him Dijak.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool entrance. I think.
Yeah.
That's why like he's out of prison or something.
Maybe or something like that.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyways, that's all I have right now. Well, yeah, pretty much.
Thinking about it, it's actually pretty cool that they had Ruby return in Indianapolis, considering she's billed from Lafayette, Indiana.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad she's back.
Yeah.
I didn't think she'd be back in WWE.
Right.
I think she'd stay in AEW. Now there's that rumor that William Regal is going to return
Right.
to WWE, most likely NXT.
Yeah.
And I did say this in our Facebook chat. It's kind of funny how you have a bunch of them leave, go to different wrestling companies, and then Vince, he resigns, and it's kind of like, okay, did we jump the gun? Or, I mean, they're doing very well over there right now.
Yeah.
But you just had Mia Yim come back.
Yes.
Mia Yim, and then, of course, Dijak.
Yeah.
So if Regal comes back, yeah, I mean, he'll be, welcome with open arms.
Oh, for sure.
But it'll be interesting to see where that goes. As far as Brian, obviously, I mean, honestly think that Brian and Mox are doing a hell of a lot better in AEW. They're actually pushing Claudio.
Yeah.
So is there room for them to make an entrance into the Royal Rumble? For sure.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know what the plans are coming up. So
yeah, well, only the future will tell.
Yeah. But oh, shut up. Okay. Anyways, it's my first Facebook.
Ha! First YouTube live in a while.
our first YouTube live chat in a while. Thought we'd come on here and talk about that show. I actually thought I saw Smoky Mountain on there,
Probably
but
was
it
on
was
there.
different. So I'll have to
Yeah.
look that up. Again, I like these shows that they're doing. I don't know what day it is on TV.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
I'm sure we could look at on demand, but last time I did that, it wouldn't allow me to watch. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, so for me and Matt, Skill Kyle, stay tuned. Midnight Monday. Look back at and All Japan. I can't remember. I'll have to look up what it's called.
Yeah.
2001, and then yeah, we'll see you next week. Deuces.
Peace.